Hello everyone and welcome to the ZBN podcast. I'm Dan and I'm joined by podcast veteran Xiaber.
Yo.
And I don't know, some other guy, who cares.
Hi.
It's Chris. Chris is here.
Hi.
Chris is here from 8-Brit, that guy. I just wanted to say before we start that the podcast is having some changes. Currently it's on a bi-weekly schedule. Every Sunday you're going to get a podcast when 8-Brit isn't on. So that's what's happening with this.
Every fortnight.
Every fortnight, yeah. On a Sunday. We're going to switch up the cast every week, or every other week. Going to just get fresh opinions, see how that goes. Hopefully it'll be good, hopefully you'll enjoy it. So, yeah, let's get on with this week's show, which is the open world episode, where we're going to talk about open worlds, what our favourite open world games are, what makes a good or bad open world, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Zelda for the Wii U and how they need to pull that off, because, you know, there's a lot of concern from skeptics in the world, thinking that they're going to screw it up somehow like they did with Skyward Sword.
It's going to be a very open discussion.
Oh god. Why do we invite you on these things?
Oh, I don't know.
You and your awful puns. Right, so just to start, what is an open world? We've had some, I want to say civil debates.
We've gone to scientists about this.
There was shouting going on.
There was a lot of... I mean, the salt train got going because Chris was trying to tell me that Super Mario 64...
No, I never actually did claim that.
Yeah, you did.
No, I said it was in the Wikipedia article.
Okay, so fact 1, Super Mario 64 is not an open world game.
Nope.
Fact.
I agree with you there.
Fact number 2, neither is Metroid.
No Metroidvanias in this one.
No, too linear, too much of segregated areas, too many transitions. The sort of definition we came up with for an open world is a large, open, obviously, but like sort of seamless world with no transitions between different areas that sort of split it up. Like, you can have loading screens and a little bit of gating between areas, but it's got to be like, as you go through those, it still feels like the same world.
Yeah, it kind of like one entity world,
yeah, like one large world, like, you know, imagine Skyrim or GTA or the obvious sort of open worlds. You know, you've got to be able to, the whole, like, your experience within that world can't be dictated by the one main plot line. There has to be more to do and to explore, and it has to encourage you to do that.
Yeah, you can know, basically go whenever, wherever, whenever. Pretty
much. Zyber, have you got anything to add on that definition, or are you good with it?
I think that's good.
You think that's good? Awesome.
Yes.
Classic Zyber, the stoic, quiet guy. We also determined there was kind of a sliding scale of what can be considered to be an open world. So things like Wind Waker, for example, can be kind of on the fence. Like, it's a very open world and you can kind of go everywhere, but it still is somewhat dictated by the plot line, and there is somewhat linear structure to it instead of being completely free for exploration. Yeah. So there's sort of a case of true open world and partial open world, and there's a bit of a crossover, and we just had a big friggin' debate about what actually counts before making this, and I think we've all got it clear in our heads.
Yeah. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, Nick from the last podcast was very helpful in our little debate, because Nick is an intelligent man.
He's always right.
Always,
forever correct. So just start, Zyber, do you wanna give us some examples of what your favourite open world games are, and just what you like about those ones? Start with you, because you're a cool guy.
Yeah, sure. So, like, one of the first things that I thought of with open world was the good old PS2 games Jak 2 and Jak 3, because they were pretty much made based off of GTA, so you just drive around a city, killing people if you feel like it, and running away from the Crimson Guard. And I kind of enjoyed that because it was like one of my first like big open world games where I was kind of surprised by how involved in the map I could get and explore areas and stuff.
Yeah.
And
I
then
I didn't know Jak 2 and 3 were open world.
yeah, Jak 1 is pretty much a linear platformer, and then they changed to an open world design, really. I mean, they still have sort of sections that go out of the city, but like they're only for like main mission things.
Yeah. Huh. That's cool. I know nothing about the whole Jak franchise, really. It's gone under my radar a little bit. So that was like your first open world then?
Technically, my first open world was an MMO called Ragnarok, because
Oh, good. MMOs.
yeah. That was a lot of fun, hanging out with people, exploring areas. Although all we did was just teleport to the dungeons we wanted to go to.
Yeah. Fair enough. I always forget that MMOs exist as games. They feel like they kind of transcended to something different at that point.
It's kind of an acquired taste as well. So
Yeah, they're kind of unique in.
but they are
the
literally
way-
open world. So
Yeah, like a lot of the time they are. I think there's probably examples where they're not, but you know.
well, yeah.
Have you got any others? Any other good ones you wanna give a mention to?
Going off of Jak and Daxter games, I really enjoyed the Infamous games on the PS3, which are pretty similar, how you have a big city and can explore and stuff.
Yeah.
Except that while the Jak 2 and 3, like, as you complete the story, more sections of the city unlocks for you to open, kind of like Wind Waker does for you. Infamous, what happens is that you unlock more city by turning the power back on for it, because otherwise you go to the other city parts that don't have power and you're pretty much going to die.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I keep meaning to pick up Infamous. It's on my list of things to get at some point in my life. Is that what you got then? Is that the main ones you wanna bring up?
Well, there's also Harry Potter 1, 2, 3, and 5.
Oh yeah, the classic Harry Potter games. Everyone's played those.
All I know is that Chamber of Secrets is actually pretty good.
Yeah, Swiggle keeps saying that, but
I mean, like, I played 1 and 2 on like 3 or 4 different consoles.
fair enough.
So it's a lot of fun being able to go through the castle and explore it and all that stuff.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Except
It
for
probably
4,
is.
because that'd be turn or mission based for some reason.
You and your license games, dude. Like back in the day with your Shrek 2 for the PS2 line.
Shrek 2 is awesome.
I'm not denying that. The Game Boy Advance version is amazing. I never played the PS2 one though. So yeah, can we move on to Chris's favourite open world games?
Go ahead.
Well, if you're a 8-Brit fan, you should know that Red Dead Redemption is my favourite open world game ever. I loved it.
I
he's
didn't
an
know
idiot.
Not sure if serious.
Xiber doesn't watch 8-Brit.
He doesn't watch anything.
I only watched like half of it.
He watches half of it and just gets bored. Whatever.
Anyway, Red Dead Redemption's my favourite. Like, I get lost in that world, and it's all... I also just have I love cowboy and western themes as well. Like, I have fun just walking around in that game, so that's great. You can literally go anywhere. Well, I mean, some bits are locked off, but it is open,
Yeah.
so... Wind Waker, Minecraft, some Assassin's Creeds,
Yeah.
Sleeping Dogs, which bored me, GTA 4 bored me as well, but I have childhood memories of GTA San Andreas, everyone's favourite Simpsons Hit and Run, everyone likes that, right?
Sure.
I remember that being fun, but I never owned it, so
It's just a foggy childhood memory at this point.
fair enough.
LA Noire, which is open, but it doesn't really feel like it, so whatever.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I've played some of Fallout 3, everyone's favourite open world game, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like we might get a bit slated because I don't think any of us have played that much Fallout 3.
Yeah, I didn't
'Cause
get
I've
very
never
far. I had to
played it.
find a satellite or something, and I was like, well, I don't know where to go, bye.
Okay, bye. Gonna go play something else. Gonna
Final Fantasy
go play
6
Star Fox again.
doesn't really... Final Fantasy 6 doesn't really count, but I mean, it's open when you get an airship. Fable 2, but I didn't really play that, so yeah.
Fair enough.
That's about it,
Fair
really.
enough.
Yeah.
Is that about
Oh,
it?
A Link to
Is
the
that what
Past.
you got?
Link to the Past.
Yeah, the classic. I found that over time, open world games have sort of become my favourite genre. Like a lot of my favourite games of all time are sort of in that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like Shadow of the Colossus, even though it's kind of empty and linear. It's still an open world, so I'd still count it, and that's one of my favorite games of all time. Minecraft, which I know you've both played. I don't know why neither of you mentioned it.
Because I knew you would.
I did mention it.
You're saving it. Minecraft is like amazing.
I did mention.
So good.
I did mention it.
To be honest, Chris, most of the time you were talking, I was just struggling really hard not to make a Brokeback Mountain reference because you were talking about cowboys and westerns.
Well, that shows where your mind is.
Straight there, straight to the gay cowboys. Anyway, Far Cry 3 I've been playing a lot of recently, which is a brilliant open world. Just Cause 2 is, literally one of the best games ever, and Just Cause 3 is going to be incredible. Skyrim, naturally, best game.
Wait, you like
ever.
Just Cause? Wait, what?
I like what a surprise, man.
I didn't
Batman
know.
Arkham City. Arkham City is great. I need to play Origins, and I probably should buy Arkham Knight when I get a PS4.
I hear that's
you know,
like
it's a
City,
thing.
but not.
Yeah. If I get to punch people as Batman, I'm happy, to be honest.
I assume it's also open world, so.
Yeah. I played a lot of Assassin's Creed. All of them except for 3 are good. 3 is bad. So
3 was meh.
3 is not fun at all. The classics of Bully Scholarship Edition. Skate 3, great open world game.
Oh yeah.
Link Between Worlds is brilliant. The original Zelda as well. A curveball of Fuel, the open world driving game that has, I don't know if it's been surpassed in this, but at one point it was the biggest world in any video game. It might have been passed by something, but it was.
I forget there's racing games that are open world. There's probably a Need for Speed one.
I think that probably is, but Fuel is great because it's this huge, like, massive world, and it's very off-road focused, so you can just drive forever off cliffs and everywhere. It's so much fun. Did I mention Saints Row the Third? Because that's a good one too. I think that's all of my bases covered at that point.
Back on what Chris said, I think there is a Game Boy Advance Need for Speed that I have that's open world.
Really?
Yeah, you just kind of try to stay behind a really fast car and eventually you'll race it.
Weird.
I was thinking of like something on the Xbox, but okay.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine an open world Game Boy Advance game.
It's basically just a city you drive in. It's not that big.
Yeah, I guess. That's weird.
Open world.
Technically, yeah.
Well, I guess that sort of covers our bases then.
Covers our bases. I think the iconic ones everyone probably will know is stuff like GTA and Fallout. Like,
GTA,
the classics.
Skyrim.
Then there's others that none of us have played. Stuff like Watch Dogs. The stuff like Fable, Prototype, Shadow of Mordor.
I think Prototype is.
I'm pretty sure Prototype. Oh, Crackdown is one. I think that's apparently good. I should probably play that at some point.
I have no idea.
And then
yeah. Oh, shall I mention? I might as well mention now. I did some research, and apparently the first ever open world game was called Ultima 1: The First Age of Darkness, and it was an old PC game released in 1981. Like you start the game and you're plonked on the map, and it's like, okay, I'll go anywhere. You have to figure out what to do, and it's really open. There's side quests and main quests, and yeah, that's basically it. That's like the origin of open world games.
The very first. So something I to move on. I just wanted to come in. What are traits? Like, what sort of traits make something a good or a bad open world? And I think the first and one of the more sort of essential ones is whether or not it feels empty. If it's full of stuff, like, and Skyrim is easily the best example of this because Skyrim has things everywhere. Like, you can just walk in Skyrim just in a direction and you will run into something in about 5 minutes. Be it a dragon, a giant, just something. There will always be something around the corner, and it's friggin' amazing. And then other games, I found that a lot of Assassin's Creed games don't really have that much to do in those open world. Like, they're fun to sort of move around in.
Yeah.
And I'll go into that in a bit later, but there's not that many side quests. There's not a huge amount of
I also find the side quests there are in Assassin's Creed, they're just kind of boring.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna collect flags.
Exactly that. I don't care. I'm not going to collect all of the feathers for Ezio so that he can make a special hat. I don't... What?
That
But I
hat
will
would
give
look
it credit for
fabulous.
its. I believe they're optional, like the Assassin Tomb things, which are basically platformer challenges.
yeah.
Those are great.
Yeah, those are cool. They occasionally have some interesting ones
Yeah.
built. I'm trying to think. There's I remember Assassin's Creed 4 having some quite interesting ones. Black Flag, because
I only played up to 3, so I'll play that one day though, because everyone seems to love it.
Yeah, Black Flag is great. It's genuinely brilliant. I remember there being some quite fun side missions in Assassin's Creed, but for the most part, it's usually a case of run around randomly until you get to a story mission for me.
Yeah,
and then just
basically
begrudgingly do the story mission and then have fun running around the world
just
again.
to like talk about Assassin's Creed a bit more. Do we all agree that it's like it just barely passes as an open world game?
Yes, I think, I don't know, it's something like Brotherhood.
I think it depends on the game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, Brotherhood is because it's all in Rome. It is one big open world. Whereas like 2 is set through Venice, Florence, and another one.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's like 3 cities.
And then of course you have the present day stuff.
Yeah. Well,
that is in the main story thing though.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can excuse stuff where you leave the open world for a little bit for story reasons, because
Yeah.
like everything's gonna have.
So like when
separate
you're
areas.
plonked in a city in Assassin's Creed, it's pretty open. So
Yeah, and traveling between each city, kind of feels like one seamless world anyway, so it's kind of allowable. It's not as like much of a true open world as something like Skyrim, but it's there.
yeah.
although I do think 3 did a good job of like trying to make all the different sections feel like one big world.
Yeah, it's just a shame that
Everything else sucked.
everything else was bad. Something 4 did really well. You know how the tree climbing in 3 felt like they were clearly like when you were walking along trees, you clearly were just being sent in one direction.
Right.
Like it was just a line of branches that you could only follow in a certain line.
Yeah.
In 4, they sort of made it more open. You could sort of jump more fluidly around each set of trees. It was cool. And just sailing in 4 was so good. Like, so good. So good.
So good.
But yeah, Assassin's Creed, it often does have quite empty worlds. I thought Brotherhood felt a little bit more full than the others. I don't know.
Revelations was pretty full too.
I don't really know much about Revelations because
Revelations
I played
was probably my favorite Assassin's Creed, and I'm not really sure why, but it is.
It was kind of like Brotherhood, except in a different city, and I think full of more stuff because it was a sequel.
Well, my experience with Revelations, I think I got a bit overkill on Assassin's Creed because I played two Brotherhood and then Revelations all in one chunk. So by Revelations, I was kind of burnt out. So I spent like an hour running around tripping over civilians with the hook blade, and that was fun. And then I just stopped.
Awesome. But yeah, I got bored of Revelations too because too much Assassin's Creed.
It just kind of felt a bit boring compared to everything else. And I think Black Flag did a good job of freshening up the franchise, but we're not here to talk about Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, that was like the Assassin's Creed segment.
Another one I felt was a tiny bit empty was Red Dead Redemption.
Whoa.
I know, Chris, you might argue me with this, but I don't know, I felt like there was occasional things to do, but none of them were very fun.
I mean, I wouldn't say it had the most stuff to do, but I don't know, you could sometimes you just walked somewhere and there'd be people trying to shoot you, or you could play poker, or you can they have the they call them the strangers quests, where you can just go to a random NPC. It's completely optional, and they'll have their own story, and they'll ask you to do something. It's great.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there is stuff to do.
I don't know. I just think I just wasn't really feeling that game. The setting didn't really do much for me, I don't think.
Playing it
I
wrong.
weren't feeling it.
Well, it's also because I like to be able to, just chaotically run around killing people.
Well, you can do that in Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, no, because then they send the police after you and you can't do anything.
Well, then you shoot the police and have a war.
Then it escalates and the game becomes unplayable.
No, I've had a moment where I've been like on top of a building and just shooting all the police that came by and they couldn't kill me.
This is the joy of open world games, I think. This is what makes it an open world game. Having your own little stories of like, and then I did this. Because it's like everyone can play it differently.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own different experience. It's why something like Metroid wouldn't count. Because like everyone plays that in pretty much the same way. You go go through it in the same sequence. But no one else probably like had the experience of standing on the top of a roof shooting dudes in Red Dead like you just had.
Well,
like, I mean, probably people did.
Yeah.
But like, you get my idea. Like,
Yeah.
Play it quite. You get a chance to do things differently. Like, there's an achievement in I think Assassin's Creed Brotherhood which involves, I think it's you have to jump from horse to horse a certain number of times. So you're riding a horse and you can jump onto someone who is also riding a horse and steal theirs. But it's really finicky to do. So I spent about 3 hours just like riding horses, jumping from horse to horse. And I still didn't get it. It really infuriated me. But that's a little thing that I spent doing because it's an open world. I could do what I wanted, so I did that.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about how annoyed I am always by the guards in Assassin's Creed games.
What? Because they always say the same thing.
Well, like, I'm just, like, trying to get on a roof, and I finally get up there, and there's a guard staring at me being all like, you need to leave now. Or, like, in 2, when you get the cape or whatever from the guy, says, like, oh, guards won't pay attention to you now. Yeah, they still pay attention to you if you're on the roof, and that really annoyed me.
It's what I think what Assassin's Creed 1 had above all the other ones, because in Assassin's Creed 1, throwing knives would kill instantly.
Uh-huh.
So you could run across a roof, and the moment you see a guard, you're just like, bam, you're dead.
And then
just instantly.
And then in 3, even though it's practically useless to be on roofs, there are still, like, guards and stuff. I'm like, what are you doing in this house?
Why? Like, it made sense in the earlier ones, but later on, it's just kind of like, what are you doing? Why are you here?
Yeah.
But yeah, Assassin's Creed is fun, isn't it? I'm trying to think of other like weird little stories I had from. Because everyone's got the classic riding a horse up a cliff in Skyrim. Or
to go on to a different
stuff like
game,
that.
I used to, when I was younger at least, when I used to play GTA, I used to actually be a law-abiding citizen sometimes. So I'd actually like drive like properly and like help police when they're chasing someone or something.
Oh man, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I know that challenge is quite well. Like people keep talking about that, and I never want to try it because I refuse. I'm too much of a psychopath.
Yeah, I've tried doing that in Jack games, except that people drive so slowly. Like, it's just impossible to go anywhere.
Yeah, you
Chris, I
get
feel like
bored at some point.
Yeah, I feel like with how you said you drive properly, like in the traffic and stuff. I do literally the opposite because in every game they're always Americans, so they drive on the wrong side of the road. In every game I play, I drive on the left. So
you know what that throws me off sometimes when I'm playing games because our steering wheel is on the other side. So when I try to get in a car or something, I'll go on the wrong side.
Yeah, I do exactly the same thing. I've been playing Far Cry and I'll try and get in a car and I'll be like, "Why? Oh."
Yeah, I don't have that issue.
Yes, Saints Row does this great thing where you get points if you drive on the wrong side of the road. So I'm just like, why would I ever not do this? I'm driving on the left forever. And it just makes driving way more fun because you're having to like weave out of everyone's way and stuff.
Oh, I got another one. In San Andreas, you could go up to random like people on the street that were your gang color and stuff and just like recruit them, and you could like take them in a car, drive around and do drive-bys and claim turfs and things. So that's the thing I like doing.
And then you drive the car into the ocean and kill them?
Probably did that, yeah.
I do a thing where if there are cars and cliffs, I cannot resist driving the car off the cliff. It's why Just Cause is perfect because you don't die in Just Cause. You can just bail and have a parachute. But playing Far Cry 3 has kind of ruined that for me because in Far Cry 3 you are an actual human being instead of a space god Rico Rodriguez. So I will drive a car off a cliff in Saints Row 3 just because I can, and then I will instantly die because you're like a flesh bag.
In Infamous, there aren't any cars, but there are gas stations. And whenever people are attacking me and they're next to a gas station, it's so much fun to just explode it.
That's literally the point of Just Cause 2. The game is basically just like explode everything. I think Just Cause 2 is a great open world game because it literally tells you to just go and screw about. It doesn't like. Between missions, it just goes, go and screw about, who cares? Go and blow stuff up, and then you'll unlock... Like, you literally unlock the story missions by blowing things up.
Wow.
Like, it's basically like, go and have fun in our sandbox, and then come back to me, and you can do some plot. Far Cry 3 does a similar thing. Whenever it gives you a mission prompt, it will often have explore the world and then go here for the mission. And I think that's quite a nice thing, because it's just like a, hey, you can go and do stuff, right? Go and kill some buffalo or whatever with a shotgun. Just go and do it. Who cares?
So like, to go on from that, you first start talking about what we like in open world games. So like, being empty is a no-no, basically. Yeah. And another one is freedom. We like freedom.
Yeah.
That's like
much like William Wallace. You can take our land, but you can never take our freedom.
But anyway, freedom's pretty vital, I'd say, to open world games.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you need to be able to just wander off and do whatever the hell you like.
Yeah.
It was nice in Infamous because you could wander around and collect things, but also every now and then you'll find a scenario where you can either show how good or evil you are.
Yeah.
Like if there's someone trying to, or being hung or whatever, you could free them or just keep walking on by.
You know what I would do. I'd kill all the guards and then I'd just let them hang and be like... Yeah, the sort of freedom of choice and stuff. Like, I will keep going back to it. Skyrim had like the optional helping one side or the other in this civil war situation, and that was a great sort of choice. Like, you could do one or the other, and it meant that if you replayed the game, you could do it. You could choose to be on a different side. Playing as a dark elf, I sided with the racists who hate dark elves. And had some fun. It's always good when you're just like, you're standing next to him as his most loyal warrior, like, and he's like the leader, and he's giving this big speech about how dark elves are bad, and you're just standing there like, I could kill you all right now. Why are you doing this? But yeah, freedom is definitely a good thing. I can't really think of any like open worlds that don't give you freedom. I guess Assassin's Creed kind of limits you when it says you can't go here because you don't have the memory yet, and
it's like, you skinned a wolf, you have to finish it.
And then there's like Wind Waker and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like Wind Waker, where it's like, well, Wind Waker's quite free. It's just that,
well, at the start of the game you can't leave out to Island or...
Yeah, most games will have that though, like a little intro area to just let you know what you're doing. And
RPGs do that as well. It's usually not open until like at a certain point.
Although I do kind of like those kind of games where like you're exploring around and you find an area that you can't do anything with, so then you finally go through the story enough to get the item and you're all like, oh hey, now I can go back here and do that.
Yeah, that's cool. Far Cry does a thing where it has all these camps and you have to take out all of the enemies in there, and it's kind of difficult when you first try because you don't have any good weapons, and like if you try and run in with a shotgun, they're going to pull the alarms and it's really hard to do stealth. And then the moment you get a silent sniper rifle, it's just like, aha, now I can do this. Yeah. Now I can camp on a friggin' cliff about a mile out and just take you out one by one, and it's the most satisfying thing ever, because the sniper rifle is broken in that game.
They're always broken.
Always broken. Another thing I think is you definitely need in an open world is an enjoyable method of traversal. So like, it has to be fun to get around the world. If it's huge, and there are some games, I think Skyrim suffers. If that is the only part where Skyrim suffers, because horses are not very fast and you don't walk very fast, and there's no real solution to that. It's just kind of like walk about.
Well, isn't there instant travel?
Yeah, there's instant travel,
but you have to get there first.
Yeah, if you want to go somewhere new, or if you want to just explore, it's kind of like, I've got to walk.
And you can only run for like 5 seconds.
Yep. It kind of gets away with it a little bit because there is so much to do, and you're going to be running for a bit, but you're going to find something very quickly and get distracted and go off on these like little tangents and stuff. So
I said it was pretty annoying when I was trying to mod stuff, and so I had to go to those positions, and it took forever.
Yeah,
I got something to say about that. So GTA 4 and Sleeping Dogs bored me at some point, and I just gave up on those two games.
Yeah,
because I just couldn't be bothered to travel to the missions each time.
Yeah,
even though there was like taxi quick travel or whatever, it was still. I stopped playing them too.
I find that more cemented drive, like more realistic, grounded driving systems, kind of get a bit like, like you don't care. Whereas a game like I will use Saints Row 3 as it's like GTA but actually fun example all the time. The driving in Saints Row 3 is amazing. Like it's fast. You can afford to crash and just steal a new car, and it's enjoyable. The layout of the roads is great. If you don't want to do that, you can steal a helicopter or a jet or whatever. Who cares? Just Cause 2 is a really good example because, yeah, just moving in Just Cause 2 is great. Just Cause 3 is an example of, like, the traversal in Just Cause 3, they're putting a lot of effort into making it really, really fun to get around. Like, they've souped up the cars, you've got a wingsuit so you can just really quickly speed around the whole world. Oh, man. It's going to be fun.
Oh, man, I just thought of a game. Spider-Man 2. It was an amazing open-world game. It was so much fun to web sling all around.
Yeah. I missed out on Spider-Man 2, but I played the recent Amazing Spider-Man game, which was better than the film. And that had quite fun. I mean, I know that it wasn't as in-depth as the Spider-Man 2 game, but it was still quite fun to, like, swing around the world.
Yeah.
Oh, another one. Lego Marvel Superheroes. It's not really an open world because it has, like, an open world area, but that's more of a hub world for the missions.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lego City Undercover was open world.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like a
think
GTA clone with Lego.
Yeah. But in this sort of more open world hub world area of Lego Marvel Superheroes, it's really fun to get around because, you know, you've got like Iron Man and Spider-Man and stuff, and you can fly and swing around, and it's pretty great. Another one I'm going to go back to Assassin's Creed. I think it's fun to, like, in the games where there's a big city, I think it's fun to just run around on the roofs.
Yeah.
Like,
I was going to say
it's just enjoyable. There's something fun about that parkour, just like
hardcore
you can
parkour.
go where you want. You can do some hardcore parkour, you know. You can just run about killing people. Every now and then there'll be someone who needs your help.
I like jump off roofs, and in one of the games you can hold B to hold out your hook.
Yeah, that's Revelations.
Oh yeah, but
the hook was
sometimes
really
I'd miss the thing completely and die.
Yeah, that happens.
Way to go. But you
If you're
can't
a
die.
nubscrub.
That didn't happen in the past.
Yeah, you desynchronize.
Oh.
Am I right? One thing Assassin's Creed does really well is they explain, like, failings in the game design by just saying it's the Animus doesn't have those memories. Like, the reason that all of the NPCs that populate the world all look exactly the same, and there's only about 5 different ones, is because Ezio doesn't remember all of their faces, and it just takes the faces he does remember and puts them on everyone.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
that.
but you can only kill 2 people before you get desynchronized.
Yeah, and that.
Or was it 3? Whatever.
I don't even remember.
Just kill a
It was
load of
what was
guards
great.
instead.
Yeah, it was what was great with the Revelations tripping mechanic, because I was just like, I couldn't touch you for any of the other games. Now I can just flip you on your ass. Oh,
Oh man, yeah, like those annoying like peddler women that would come up and just be all in your
God.
face.
Oh, they were
And the
so
beggars.
annoying. I'd kill
you just
them
want
anyway.
to kill them.
And the buskers with the loots, and they just follow you
Yeah.
around, like, and you'd be like, no, can you just go away? I want to stab you so bad. Another thing it explained with the Animus was, like, in the first game you couldn't swim, and in Assassin's Creed 2 they put in a thing saying, we've upgraded the Animus so that you can do swimming now. And it's like, yeah, okay, sure, okay, that makes sense, except it doesn't, but okay.
Yeah.
But then there's the stupid missions where you can't swim anyways.
Yeah, classic.
Uh,
Anyway, Assassin's Creed is fun to traverse the area, and I think that is an important thing that you need, just a fun way
Yeah,
of getting
definitely.
around. Because otherwise you'll get bored between missions and you'll just... Oh, I've got another one, Skate 3. It's a skateboarding game, it's open world, and it's so much fun to move around the world because it's a skateboarding game.
makes sense.
Like, everything is perfectly designed, so there's jumps and, like, things you can grind on, and it's like, this is just a skateboarder's heaven, basically, and getting from one place to another is just constantly fun because there's so many things you can skate on and just practice playing as you go from one, like, mission to another. So that game is great for that. And it's like a weird example where it's like, you wouldn't really think of it if you're trying to list examples of an open world game, but it is one. It's there.
Hey, is Wii Ski an open world game?
I don't even
What?
know what that is.
It's a skiing game for the Wii. You could use the Wii Fit board as ski or snowboard or whatever, and like it's an actual ski resort, so you could go all over. So I guess technically it is, but the only point is to
guess.
skate or ski. I mean,
Okay.
I guess.
It's like skateboarding but skiing.
Fair
Anyway,
enough. Anyway,
I got one more thing for the what makes it good or whatever. Probably not
Yeah.
most important, but at least somewhat at least immersion basically.
yeah, if it's like really well built and you want to explore
Like
it
it
instead
feels
of-
like a world,
yeah stuff. And I'm
which
gonna
is why I love Red
go
Dead
back
Redemption so much.
I'm gonna go back to my classic Skyrim. You just want to go and find what's out there, unless you're an idiot who has no imagination and just is dumb.
That's me.
Like with Skyrim, it's just like I want to go over there and see what is on there. Like, let's do it. Let's go. I'm doing it. Whereas an example of one that isn't that immersive is like Saints Row or GTA. It just kind of feels like this is a city. Okay, you know?
Until you
Yeah.
find Easter eggs.
A little bit.
Yeah, until you, yeah, I guess. Whereas Far Cry 3 is a great one. It's like this big tropical island with like jungles, and it's really fun to like you want to wander around. You want to try and find tigers to hunt or like just see what's there, and it's
Yeah.
it's fun. Yeah, it's a very immersive setting, and I know what you mean with that. Like you need something where you want to explore it, because otherwise, what's the point in being able to explore it? You know?
Yeah. Faux show.
Faux show. I've got one. The storyline and the side quests have to be somewhat captivating, because like while there are other things to do, it's still good to have like one solid quest line that you actually want to do, because otherwise you'll never progress and you'll just do all of the fun stuff in the world and then never do anything else. And I find Saints Row 3 has a brilliant story, and you want to follow that story. You know, it makes you really want to go and do all of the missions and go and do stuff. Whereas, and this is another failing in Skyrim's main like quest line is so dull and just uninteresting, and just like, I don't want to do this. I want to go and explore. Far Cry 3 sort of has a similar problem, except it also has the best villain ever, so that kind of makes up for it. It's kind of balanced out a little bit.
I would say for Fallout 3, of what little I played of it, I was definitely enjoying the main stuff and wanting to progress, and then whenever I could, I would sort of go wherever.
Yeah.
And Red Dead Redemption is also the same, good story and all
Yeah.
that jazz.
And I
Yeah.
haven't played Sunset Overdrive because it's only on the Xbox One for some reason, but like I've seen a couple of the side quests on YouTube, and like it's actually interesting. They're more humorous. Like there's this one side quest where you find out, like, side quests have question marks or whatever over people's heads, and that's how you know when to
Yeah.
go to them. And so there's a side quest where you find out where these question marks come from, and it turns out it's like a person that rinsed them out. And so like you have to go to these people and get the question marks back because they forgot to turn them in.
That's pretty I forgot that Sunset Overdrive even existed. I remember that just
Yeah.
kind of getting panned for being kind of mediocre, but
Didn't it get
I don't
reviewed
know.
well? I don't know.
I have no idea. I just
I
forgot.
think it's
that
made by the
thing.
guys who made
Yeah, it's Insomniac.
one of them animal games.
One of them
Spyro.
animal games.
No, Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spyro and Ratchet and Clank.
Was
Oh, Spyro.
wait.
and- Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Which one did Naughty Dog do?
Crash.
I think
Crash
Ratchet and Clank
Bandicoot
was-
and Jack.
Oh, Crash.
Jack
Crash
and
and Jack.
Daxter.
Yeah, okay, I know
Yeah.
now. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was confusing them all.
People probably forgot about Sunset Overdrive because who wants to play the Xbox One?
Yeah, lol, Xbox One.
I want one.
Who would want an Xbox One over a PS4? Come on now, guys. Come
Or
on now.
Wii
What are
U?
you?
Come on.
Blah, blah.
What are you? Some sort of idiot who doesn't understand that the PS4's the best?
Come on.
That'll pay off. That joke will pay off in the comments.
You're gonna get fired. So should we like sum up the goods and bads of open worlds? So like,
Yeah, just overall, it needs to be an immersive world with lots of things to do, that's fun to traverse,
Yeah.
and still has a fun, enjoyable core central thing to tie it all together. Because otherwise, it will just feel like
yeah, don't be
whatever.
empty, don't be boring.
Yep, pretty much that.
Yeah.
So, with that all in mind,
Next
with
segment.
everything we're just talking about,
Yes,
how
Chris.
does what does Zelda U have to do to be good
In an open world aspect.
in an open world aspect? Because that's what they're promising us. They're saying Zelda Wii U is going to be open world, and they showed that footage with something I can't. It was a while back. They showed
The
footage
Game
of them
Awards.
moving around. Yeah. and that made it look like it was a bit empty. But then it's an early build
Yeah,
of the game,
yeah.
so they might add a lot of stuff in. The problem that is a concern is that it's going to be empty, like Twilight Princess a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that if they go off of the Skyward Sword, the lands under, like, I really enjoyed each of the lands,
Yeah,
the
I
way
had
they
the
were
same
designed and
thing.
stuff.
The running mechanic and the new climbing mechanics were all very sort of intuitive, and they felt fun to move around with.
So, like, if they
So-
were to take those lands and then try to make them, like, as big as Zelda 1 overworld, I think that could
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, I think
And
they,
Zelda
they need
1's
to...
the biggest inspiration for this one, apparently. So
Yeah, I remember. I think it was Miyamoto said that they're trying to make it so that you can approach any situation from any angle or sort of direction. I don't know. It might have been Aonuma. One of them said that.
but that was the thing that was said.
Yeah, it was a
Oh,
thing that
okay,
was
that's
said.
cool.
It
That they
turns
want-
out
they
it was
want you to
Dan
be able
that
to-
said it.
Yeah, it was me. Yeah, I remember them saying something along the lines of they wanted you to be able to come at anything from different angles, and kind of like how in something like Skyrim or Red Dead or any of that, you can like if there's a town, you can pretty much come at it from any direction,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you can discover it on your own. You're not, because in previous Zelda games, it's like, okay, how do I get to this town? I go through this tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Entrance.
Ocarina did that a lot.
Ocarina, Twilight Princess did it. So did
Technically, Wind Waker, you go
What's the other one?
anywhere. You just had to find a dock or anything.
yeah, Wind Waker did it quite well. Like in Outset Island, you can just come up at any beach in
Yeah.
Windfall. There's a beach on one side and like the dock on the other. You can sort of approach it from any angle. So yeah, something like Wind Waker, but with land instead of ocean is what we're thinking here. I feel like you know how they were saying that Epona is like a real horse, and real horses don't run into trees and stuff. I'm thinking if they can make
Yeah.
Epona control well and not like a tank or a motorbike like she sometimes does. If they can basically take aggro from Shadow of the Colossus, the greatest horse in video game history,
I disagree.
and just you're an idiot, and you just take aggro and put it in Zelda U.
Aggro
You're
made me
also an idiot.
aggravated.
No, you're wrong. Aggro is great.
Uh,
Rip aggro. Spoilers.
But not really.
But anyway,
Not really.
like for the whole traversing thing,
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like Epona will make it fun to traverse,
Yeah.
but
she's
Based on the
she's-
videos we saw of her, she looked good.
Yeah.
And there were other horses too, weren't there? Like,
Yeah, they were like wild horses, like
Yeah, that was
scattered as you
awesome.
ran past them. That was pretty
yeah,
cool.
that's true.
so hopefully there'll be other things like
Oh,
that.
I was also going to mention they brought back the sailcloth from Skyward Sword, so
Oh yeah, and you
yeah.
can like glide on it as well,
Yeah.
like you could with the Deku Leaf. I think that's a really good concept.
and that will make traveling easier and
Yeah.
more fun, I guess.
Like as a Just Cause fan, I want to be able to jump off a cliff and parachute.
You can do that in
So,
Zelda U,
yeah.
Dan.
Yeah. I think Epona is going to have to go fast, much like Sonic the Hedgehog, you know? Just without the voice acting.
Epona the horse. New
Wouldn't it be
Sonic
great
character.
if like wouldn't it be great if you're running across Hyrule and just suddenly it's just like rolling around at the speed of sound, and then Epona just turns her head 360 degrees and just screams in your face, gotta go fast, gotta go fast, gotta go
Yes,
fast.
that would be weird.
When it comes out, someone should hack the game and do like a fake copy paste to like Ben Drowned, but with that. Someone make it, guys. But yeah, anyway, they need Epona to be good, unlike some instances of Epona. The other one is the storyline has to be interesting, is something we said earlier. Now, I have always found that Zelda storylines are really boring, and I've never been immersed in any of them.
Even in Wind Waker?
Even in Wind Waker.
See, I
and
think
that's my
Wind Waker
favourite
is
one.
probably the best.
Wind Waker's story has a lot of great elements to it, but it just, overall, I'm just like, I really don't care. I just want to go and sail and kill things because the combat system in this game is incredible. That's something
Yeah.
that Zelda U needs as well, by the way. It needs Wind Waker's control system.
I don't really
Like-
care for the story either, but like I just like going to the dungeons and exploring them.
Yeah. The dungeons are the fun part of Zelda. It's why Majora's Mask doesn't interest me. I don't care about talking to NPCs. Ooh,
Majora's Mask does
controversy.
have good dungeons, though.
It has 4 dungeons. I'm not spending money on a game that has 4 dungeons.
Well, I thought Majora's Mask story was actually really good, though.
Yeah.
Can we not do this argument, please?
Yes.
I don't.
We will.
Majora's
That's
Mask is
for
a
another
GG.
day. That's for another day. The Dan doesn't want to ever play Majora's Mask, and here's why episode of the podcast.
Why Nintendo make a sequel?
Don't make a sequel; it's a waste.
Actually, some people think because of Majora's Mask 3D, they might do something there with incorporate elements into Zelda U, maybe? I don't know.
Well, it'd be nice if they were to like put lore into the land,
or like depthy
that's something it
NPCs,
needs.
you know.
Yeah,
not just cardboard cutouts. Or
the problem with Zelda, I find, is I don't want to, and I'm going to sound like some sort of I hate reading idiot, but I don't want to be reading in a video game. I want to listen to people talking to me. It's not an interactive experience if I'm having to read everything everyone's saying. And I'm not saying give Zelda voice acting. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. I'm just saying that is a weakness of Zelda for me personally. So I don't know how well like an open world with depthy like NPCs is going to carry over for me personally, because if Zelda U has loads of NPCs but they all talk in big chunks of text, I'm just not going to care. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to care about what they have to say. I'm not going to care about helping them.
I don't think there's
like,
much to
whatever.
rescue you from that. I mean,
I know, it's an inevitable situation, really.
I mean, video games taught me how to read.
But no, unless it's really cleverly written dialogue, I'm not really going to find myself caring about dialogue in Zelda U, I don't think. Because I will read dialogue, like the Super Paper Mario and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is a great example of like I cared about those games' story and dialogue because they were fun and they were enjoyable to read. Most Zelda dialogue is not. It's just dry, boring text.
Especially if it's the Great Deku Tree talking.
Yeah, or Kapora Gabora. Jesus Christ, can we kill him?
Yes, you can.
Anyway, point being, in order to be a good open world, Zelda's going to need good side things for you to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, just having a fishing hole and a couple of fetch quests isn't going to cut it this time.
Nah, not really.
Oh man, it would be so hard finding all those heart pieces.
Oh my god, that's going to be... Wow, I didn't think of that. Yeah. Because it was kind of annoying in A Link Between Worlds, which was quite open, to find all the ones in the overworld. I quit and I couldn't be bothered to do any of it once I'd finished the story. But yeah, getting all the heart pieces is going to be... If they hide them well, because some of Twilight Princess had some well hidden ones in that world.
Well, maybe they'll have a fortune teller for you.
They will have that sort of set, because they nowadays they seem to always have a hint system in most.
They did have one in Skyward Sword.
Yeah, Ocarina 3D had one. I'm pretty sure Wind Waker HD they worked something into, didn't they?
Majora's Mask 3D had the Sheikah Stone as well. So
yeah. So in theory, having that sort of thing there is really useful, because it would mean that they could make it really open and without as much direction, and those of us who wanted to go out and explore and find things for ourselves could, but people who were children or idiots can, talk to the Sheikah Stone and have that tell them where to go and stuff.
Yeah,
so
I
think
in my day, I had to either hope the internet was working or just...
Well, back in Spiegel and Piddle's day, you had to have the manual and read books.
Even though those two are like 6 years apart.
Are they? Oh yeah, Piddle's really old, isn't he? I always forget that.
Spiegel, you are not old.
You're not an old man. Stop calling Effortless old man, chat. Isn't Spiegel only like 2 years older than us?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he's only like 1 year or the same age as me.
Anyway, this isn't the Spiegel You're Not Old show.
Should we start one? Let's start it.
50-year-olds are all like, "You're calling yourselves old, get over here so I can beat you up."
Yeah, there's someone like watching Effortless going, "Back in my day, we only had Pong."
Back in my day.
I thought you were going to say something else there.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
open world
Zelda
games.
Zelda U, open world. It should be fun.
Let it happen.
Please don't mess it up, Nintendo. Please don't make me wait 9 days to unlock all the content, please. Please don't put Ryu in it, but make me pay $5.99 for him. Please don't release like half of a game and then slowly release it as free DLC like you did Splatoon. Okay, there's all my assault about Nintendo out of the way.
Anyway, should
don't
we...
do Assassin's Creed 2 either.
What does Assassin's Creed 2 do?
Like all the DLC it added that was actually part of the main story.
Oh yeah, weren't there whole chapters of one of them where you had to buy it?
Like at one point I'm playing the game and it's all
DLC.
like skipping chapter because it doesn't exist yet.
Oh, that's bad. I didn't even know that was a thing. That is bad. So yeah, Zelda U. Hopefully they'll pull it off. Hopefully it'll be full of stuff. The fact that there were horses, and didn't they say they wanted like you to be able to pick fruit off of trees and stuff?
I remember seeing that in a Game Explain video.
I don't know if that was actually a thing they said or a thing that Omni was saying he wanted to have.
Actually, I think I remember hearing Miyamoto saying, well, his translator saying it, or whatever.
Yeah, good. What other things could they populate the world with? It's like, because you've got to have NPCs. They'll probably have a fishing hole somewhere.
It would be nice
pieces.
to have transportation other than horse or like water transportation or something somewhere.
Yeah, like a tiny boat across lakes and rivers.
I think
and
in the
stuff.
bottom right corner of the map that we saw at the Game Awards, there was quite a bit of water.
Yeah.
So
Well, maybe you'll have a raft like in Zelda 1.
Maybe you'll have a ladder.
You'll just have a ladder, why not?
Like in Zelda 1.
well, you can put anything in his pocket. So
Yeah,
Don't you see the picture? He just carries it on his back.
I love that picture, by the way. All of there's loads of really great concept art for Zelda 1. There's like one of Link just sat with a campfire at night, and it's such a really nice.
and the
piece
one
of
of
art.
him
be
looking
awesome
at the
to have.
sunset, and
Yeah.
Oh right, I'm just happy that they're going to have a nighttime and stuff because Skyward Sword is all like, no, you can't fly in the night.
Oh yeah, they did do that, didn't they?
Yeah.
it's dangerous.
That was weird. Yeah, Zelda U, if they took inspiration from Zelda 1 and they made it so you didn't even have to talk to the NPCs, like, how you can not even get the sword in Zelda 1 and you can finish the game with that? What if I can do that? What if I can just never talk to an NPC and just go it alone the whole time?
I have a feeling
really want
that they are taking inspiration from Zelda 1, but it's not going to be like a 3D version of it.
Crush my dreams. Well, I think we're done here.
Yeah.
I think we've
Open world
we've
games
really-
are great,
we've
and
pretty much pretty much covered it. Can I just say one more thing that we forgot to mention earlier
What?
No.
about what makes a bad open world?
What?
Not having enough dialogue. I don't want to be walking around my open world and hear like 57 people say, "I used to be an adventurer like you."
Yeah, that's true.
It happens a lot. Like Assassin's Creed suffered from it too. Like they had a lot of repeated dialogue from the guards and the townspeople and stuff. They'd always say the same thing, and you just get so sick of it. With Assassin's Creed, it can be justified of like Ezio doesn't remember everything they always said, so it's accessing the memories of the few phrases he does remember. But it's still annoying.
Yeah.
And it's still a limitation of the whole. It's a limitation of the openness of.
At
the
first, I thought
game,
you were going to
really,
say if there's no dialogue whatsoever, it would be rubbish, and I was going to talk about Minecraft because it's like you're just plonked into a world and you do whatever.
Minecraft's kind of a unique situation, really.
We didn't touch upon sandbox games, basically. We didn't mention the word sandbox.
Yeah.
Minecraft is sandbox.
Minecraft's kind of its own thing, really. It's a whole different
do whatever
game.
you want.
Well, it is an
Whatever you
open
want.
world, but it's a sandbox as well. So
Back to the dialogue thing. I think the latest Final Fantasies actually do a good job of that. Like,
Fair enough.
Like even 15 has it where like your party members will be talking while you're traveling around the areas, and whenever you're in cities, and 13 and stuff, like, well, 13 too, like people, you would be passing by people and they would be talking and would be talking about all these different things.
Red Dead Redemption is pretty good. Like, even though it's kind of a complaint of the game, but when you rode to missions, but like with someone, they'd have dialogue, but you were still controlling yourself, so it wasn't like you weren't locked out of the game. But there's cutscenes as well, anyway. So whatever floats your boat, whatever sinks your boat.
I don't think I can think of any that don't suffer from that very much, except for Just Cause 2, because in Just Cause 2 you never hear any of the dialogue from anyone because you're too busy exploding them. So,
Yeah.
I love Just Cause 2 so much, and Just Cause 3 is going to be so much better. I'm hyped, dude.
See,
I think
you've mentioned Just Cause and Skyrim so much.
It's because they're awesome.
And Assassin's
You
Creed.
can't have a conversation about open world games and not talk about Skyrim. Like, it is the big one, you know?
Yes.
It'd be like trying to have a conversation about platformers but not bringing up Mario all the time.
Like, I had a friend who knows all about GTA, and so I tried talking about Skyrim with him, and he had no idea what it was. I'm all like, it's like the second right after GTA.
It's like GTA but not with guns. No?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, yeah, that's the open world episode. I think we probably need to wrap about now.
Yeah.
So,
We need to close the open discussion.
I really hate you sometimes. I just like,
You should just cut out his dialogue. And it'll just be you randomly saying, I really hate you sometimes.
But then you two will sound crazy.
Yeah, I would just remove his audio track, but we kind of need it, unfortunately.
Just heavy edit.
No, he didn't mess up any lines this time. I can't do a blooper reel of
No,
Chris
I
being an
did
idiot.
fluff them sometimes.
Yeah, I'll leave them in though, so it's fine. That's been the open world episode, and I've been Dan.
Like, comment, subscribble.
I was kind of hoping you'd go, and I've been Chris, and I've been Xiaber, but okay.
No, you gotta
I'm
say
still
like,
Xiaber.
comment, subscribe, and then our names.
Alright, dislike, comment, unsubscribe. I've been Dan,
I've been Chris.
I'm still Xiaber.
and this has been the ZBN podcast. Go and listen to Space Pirate Radio, because no one does it, and I put one out last
And I'll
week.
be on
It's really good.
some soon.
And I'm up next.
Yay!
Yeah.
We really like making that show. It's just a shame no one likes listening to it. Don't listen to 8-Brit, it's bad. I know Nuxie Ben is going to put a little comment. What a nice
8-Brit
guy.
for life.
8-Brit for life. Anyway, we're rapping. Everyone on the ZBN just can't rap
No.
videos. Nobody. We just don't want to stop talking.
Nope.
Alright, this is it. Bye. Okay, bye.
Bye.